All right, we are back with another pick'em video. Gonna be going over my favorite plays for the NBA today. 9 game slate, definitely a lot of value out there. So I got 4 plays that I'm loving. We're gonna go over the reasoning, the odds, the hit rates, the matchups, all these different things. But before we get into things, I do want to do an announcement, and it's the last day to enter the $250 giveaway. So over on the Discord, I have a screen popped up right here. You can go ahead and pause the video and read all this. But pretty much, you just got to sign up using any of my codes. These are my partners, my favorite DFS platforms. They all are ones that I use personally. PrizePicks, Underdog, Chalkboard, Sleeper, or Dabble. All my codes are right here. But again, the links are in the description if you want to just hit those. It's a little bit easier. And just sign up, hit me with a DM in the Discord or on Instagram and say, hey, I used your code. I will have to get a screenshot just to confirm that. But yeah, any amount of codes you use are going to be entries into this giveaway. And I actually just tallied up the amount of people in the giveaway, and there's only 20 people exactly right now. So maybe that goes up today, but only 20 people right now. You definitely have a solid shot. It's not like there's 1,000 people in this thing. But yeah, PrizePicks, Underdog, Chalkboard, Sleeper, Dabble. They all have their perks in themselves. Again, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but like today is PrizePicks Taco Tuesday. So we're going to get 3 discounted lines. They're not free squares, but they hit at around a 75 to 80% rate. So Taco Tuesday is awesome to come over on PrizePicks. Underdog does this very similar thing on Fridays. Chalkboard does random discounts all the time. It's actually looking like they're doing discounts today as we get a flash sale for Nikola Jokic. I think they're actually doing a second one. Sleeper does the same thing on Wednesdays. It's very much like Taco Tuesday. We just get discounted lines. And then Dabble is a new kind of DFS platform around the block, and they just have soft lines and generals. They don't have as many people working for them as PrizePicks or Underdog or these other things. So their lines don't get adjusted, very quickly. So take advantage of that. They all have welcome bonuses as well. So if you go in and PrizePicks, $100 welcome bonus is going to come your way. Underdog, Chalkboard, also the same thing. For Sleeper, you're going to get up to a $500 welcome bonus. And then for Dabble, you just get $10 right when joining. So I don't even think you have to do anything for Dabble. And then for DG Fantasy, we'll talk about that, but that is a tool. So those are all the codes. All you got to do is do that. DM me, say, hey, here's a screenshot of the code. I'll get you in the entry. And that also will translate to a free month of the Discord. Multiple entries, the more platforms you use, the more entries you get. So yes, if you use PrizePicks and Underdog or PrizePicks and Chalkboard, you use 2 codes. That's going to translate to 2 entries in 2 months. Same thing with 3 codes. So that's the giveaway. Last day to do it is today. And not going to spend more time on that. But yeah, let's jump into the board. But before we do so, if you're new around here, we go over our picks every single time. I don't brush over my losses or bad days. I don't, brush over my wins also, obviously. But here we go. These were the picks from yesterday. De'Aaron Fox got there for us. Sabonis ends up getting fouled out in that last, 3 minutes there, but that didn't matter. He already had this over. He crushed that line. I like the matchup against Chicago here too. Claxton was a disappointing one. We actually in the Discord went to his dunks line over. It was at 2.0, so he hit his over on the dunks line, but ended up scoring more than I thought. I probably should have read more into the Memphis injuries, into the Brooklyn injuries. It was just really good odds, and I'm not mad about going to it, but maybe could have done a little bit more research on that one. And then for this Caruso one, totally not mad about this one, other than the fact that it was tough watching him play yesterday. 1 for 10 from the field for the entire game, 0 for 6 from 3, 0 for 5 from 3 in the first quarter. So I told this to my Discord. You can't get too upset about these. Yes, you can get upset in the moment at the player specifically, but it was the good read. It was a good read. This line ended up going all the way up to 9.0 points, so we got great value at 7.5. Just didn't have his best stuff, so that's why bankroll management's so huge. If you have $100 in one of these accounts, in your PrizePicks account or what might it be, you should be doing $5 plays. If you do $20 plays, you miss 5 plays in a row, and you're out of money. If you do $5 plays, you might miss 2, 3. You could miss 10 in a row and then hit a 10x, and then you're back up to whatever. So bankroll management's huge. If you have $500, maybe you're doing $10 plays. There should be like 1 to 3% of your bankroll. So that's something I preach in my Discord. But last but not least was Denny Advia here, over 13.5 points. That was no sweat. Huge high-scoring game here, Utah and the Wizards, especially in the first half. Denny had like 10 in the first half, so looked really good. I don't know if he ended with 16, but got there for us. And then Marvin Bagley, you're seeing here, this was a Discord exclusive one. I send much more plays in the Discord. It's not just these free plays, but Bagley we went to, and he crushed his line. So let's jump into the board and talk some plays. All right, so first of all, remember it's Taco Tuesday. So our first taco is going to be Brandon Ingram here at 17.5 points. I play every single taco. Some people try to decide if they want to fade a taco or whatever it might be. but you're getting great value here. It's going to be a positive EV play. And this isn't going to be a video pick, but take advantage of the tacos. There should be 3 today, and Brandon Ingram's going to be the first one. But our first video pick is going to be Jonas Valanciunas here. Not something we go to all too often, but the value is definitely here. I'm going to be going to his blocks and steals line at 1.5 on the under here. So going up against Toronto, that's the matchup. They're dealing with some injuries, and that's going to be one of the main reasons I love this play. But let's go over to Jonas's outlier page. This is one of the partners of the channel. You can get a free week actually in the description down below just by hitting my link. Just lets them know that I sent you there. But highly recommend checking this out. It's very visual, shows you, hit rates obviously, but they also show you the matchups, minutes, and things like that. And one of my favorite things about this, obviously, it's an 85% hit rate the last 20 games. Is incredible right off the bat. But if we take a look at the 2023 as a whole, we're seeing a 56% hit rate. So a ton of red in the beginning of the year, more green down the line here. And the big reason about this is that Larry Nance wasn't available at the beginning of the season. So the Pelicans now are very much matchup based. Jonas doesn't always get, a certain amount of run with Larry Nance in the lineup. They can pick and choose their matchups. And Larry Nance is more of a smaller center, more versatile center, whereas Jonas is more of a big man, kind of a bruiser down low, playing against these bigger guys like Embiid or these big centers, Jokic and things like that. So we see, the minutes were obviously pretty steady earlier in the year. I don't know where Larry Nance went out, but it looks probably around here where Valanciunas had to play the most of those center minutes. But we see a huge drop off. We've seen some games he's not playing at all. And again, it's matchup based. When the Pelicans don't like the matchup at center, they will not force playing Valanciunas. So quickly want to show you the games played with Larry Nance. We can see again, it's going to be a very solid hit rate. 67% of the time he's gone under this in games with Larry Nance. You see again, the minutes are kind of fluctuating a little bit more, and also only 23.4 minutes on average with Larry Nance in the lineup. Now, the other thing is going to be the other side of this matchup. It's going up against Toronto, who typically have Jakob Poeltl at center, but they don't have him today. So they have no Jakob Poeltl, and Kelly Olynyk is going to be their guy. Kelly Olynyk is not a bruiser. He's not he's a big center. He's a tall guy. I think he's like 7 foot or something, but he's not like a back you down type guy. He's very much a perimeter shooter. He can shoot the ball. And again, I think they're just going to favor the matchup here, maybe with running Larry Nance a little bit more. So Valanciunas under 0.5 blocks and steals. Obviously the last 20 games is looking incredible just in general, but then you count, Larry Nance coming into this equation. You count Jakob Poeltl on the other side not being there, and I'm really, really liking this matchup, and the hit rate's incredible. But not only is it looking really good in that terms of that, we also attack the odds. I'm not going to play, a plus money play on PrizePicks because they have a fixed base payout system. There's no reason for me to play a plus money play, even if I really like it. I can take that on a sports book or on something like Sleeper where I actually get, the advantage of taking a plus money play. So I want to be attacking, good value plays. We see a few popping up for Valanciunas. Only one data point on this fantasy score line. Rebounds and assists are on the under here as well. Again, might not get a whole lot of minutes today is my biggest thing. And is on the under for the blocks and steals, 1.5. They're giving it a 53.27% chance to hit, which is very, very solid. And we see across the board, this is around a minus 135 play. So that's about the best odds you're going to get on PrizePicks. We always want to be attacking value. So everything pointing in the right direction so far. And then our last data point that we like to go to on this channel is going to be the projection model. This is on RotoWire, my favorite projection model out there. This tool is very simple to use. It's also the cheapest tool. It's like $12 a month. Outliers like $20 a month. But I highly recommend, honestly, having both of them because the projection model here, that's my favorite thing to go to. RotoWire knows what they're talking about with projections. Again, all these links are going to be in the description. For DG Fantasy also, this is going to get you into the giveaway, 25% off your first month. But yeah, this is the projection model, and we go to the blocks and steals line, and they are on the under. Obviously, the hit rate's looking incredible, but it's good to see that they're also projecting 1.2, which would be under there. So he has to get 2 to hurt us. Everything is looking really good here. So Valanciunas at 1.5 blocks and steals is going to be our first play. And then sticking the same game, actually the same team, going to be going to someone that actually burned us a few days ago on the video picks, but going to be going back to Herb at 12.5 points and assists here. A big injury is going to be one of the part of the things here, but also we just talked about the matchup with the Raptors. They might favor a small ball type deal, and Herb's obviously one of a smaller players on this team. He's not a huge guy, but he's a very defensive player, and I think he should get a whole bunch of run today. So Herb Jones, let's go into his outlier page, and we see a 54% hit rate on the year. So right off the bat, looking pretty solid. But we see a whole bunch of green recently, and why is that? We can see the last 20 games, 70% hit rate. And again, I talked about that injury, or I alluded to it at least, and it's going to be Dyson Daniels being out. He's not a crazy player. He's the Summer League king, as I like to call him, because he always goes crazy in Summer League. But he gets around 20 minutes a game. But with Dyson Daniels out this year, 2023, Herb's going over this in 7 of 9 games. So very, very good once you start, diving a little bit deeper into it. He's been getting a whole bunch of run, and this is the game that we went to him, that Indiana game, and just didn't get there for us. But we see the field goals. He shoots a decent amount. Only 4 field goal attempts last game. That's probably why he didn't get there. But he did shoot 75%. So I like the matchup here specifically. Points and assists allowed. They're giving up a whole bunch. And this Toronto Raptors defense is looking horrendous today. If you think about the players, RJ Barrett, not a good defender. Kelly Olynyk, probably not a very good defender. Emmanuel Quickly, kind of an undersized guard, not a very good defender. So I think he'll have a decent chance of scoring the ball a decent amount, not a whole lot of defensive resistance here. And Herb at 12.5 is looking really good, especially without Dyson Daniels, and thinking he's going to get 30-plus minutes. So Herb, going back to him, hopefully doesn't burn us again. If he does, he might have to join the ban list here. But not just that, everything is looking good in terms of odds as well. I think you can go to him a few different ways. The favor, everything's favoring the over here, fantasy score, PRA. But I'm going to that points and assist line, 51.53% chance to hit. Again, DraftKings, the few books that have this are around minus 125. So definitely favoring the over rather than favoring the under. So we are attacking good value. And then our last projection model over here on RotoWire, 12.5 points and assists. They're expecting 14.5. So a whole 2-point boost in terms of the projection model. So another one where everything kind of pointing in the right direction. And our Pelicans duo is going to be our first 2 plays. Next guy I want to talk about is going to be Jaylen Brown. Now he's got a tough matchup against Cleveland today. No Donovan Mitchell on that side of things, but they still got Jared Allen. They still got Evan Mobley down low. That's kind of the anchors of their defense. But I'm going to go to Jaylen at 30.5 PRA. We're getting great value here on PrizePicks. If this one does get bumped, I have an alternate line for you guys to go to, but 30.5 PRA is going to be what we're looking at. We go over to the outlier page. We see a 62% hit rate, so that is incredible right off the bat. But the big thing here is there's 2 injury, implications, and one of them is Jaylen Brown himself is a game time decision. So jumping over right here, we see game time decision for JB, and we also see game time decision for Porzingis. I think probably one of those guys will sit. If I don't think both of them will sit. They might both play, but I don't think they'll both sit. Maybe one guy sits. So if Jaylen Brown doesn't play, obviously you can't go to this. But if Porzingis doesn't play, that's just a big boost for Jaylen Brown. So if hopefully Porzingis doesn't play, he didn't play last game. But again, they might both play, and he's been hitting this, pretty regularly, even with Porzingis in the lineup. So 62% hit rate on the season is looking really good. Last 20 games, it's a 60% hit rate. And again, we talked about the matchup. Are we scared of that matchup? I'm really not. Because he has played this team very, very well consistently over the last 5-6 matchups. So this year they played twice. He crept over with 31. He crept over with 32. And then last year he dominated this team a few times. So I like JB in this spot, 30.5. We're getting ridiculous odds here. This is actually a minus 149 over on Pinnacle. So again, just attacking value. But this also means this line will probably get bumped up. So that's the power of DG Fantasy. It points out these things. 53.82% chance to hit. Again, minus 149 on Pinnacle. Everywhere else, very heavily favored to go over. BetOnline has this at minus 155. So crazy odds to take advantage of. And the projection model like this one as well. Very, very slightly, or they did. Looks like they switched to us 30.42. So they're right around this. It's not like they're expecting, crazy unders. And again, hit rate's looking great. If Porzingis doesn't play, this looks amazing. Can actually take Porzingis out of the equation. If he doesn't, if he goes ahead and doesn't play, we look at that 62% hit rate turns into a 73% hit rate. So another kind of caveat here for this one. But again, they might both play. Jaylen Brown might not play. So I'm attacking value here where it lies. And the other way to attack this, if this line isn't still here, Is going to be his first quarter points at 5.5. It's something I've gone to all season. Has a 69% hit rate, 83 head to head. He dominates this team, like I talked about, but especially in that first quarter, it's kind of, you think he scored like 15 against them the last time they played. And then the last 20, everything's looking good. So if it gets bumped and 5.5 first quarter points is still available, that's kind of a alternate play here. But Jaylen Brown, 30.5. We're going to take the value where it stands, and that's going to be our third play. And then last but not least, we're going to talk Tyrese Maxiell here. He's got a goblin and a demon for this line. A goblin at 1.5 3-pointers made, a demon at 3.5 3-pointers made. If you want to mess around with that, you can. But I'm going to go into his 2.5 3-pointers made. Very much a matchup play. As we jump over to his outlier page, we can see the hit rate's not going to knock your socks off here. 50% of the last 10 games he's gone over this. 55% of the last 20. In terms of 2023 as a whole, it's a 60% hit rate. And if we go down to the attempts on 3-pointers made, it's been very consistent throughout that. So around a 36% 3-point shooter, and he gets around 8 attempts up at a game. So hit rate's not looking amazing, but I do really like the matchup here. So if we go into Brooklyn, we see overall they give up around middle of the road in terms of 3-pointers made allowed, very middle of the road, 16th ranked. But in terms of to point guard specifically, Tyrese Maxiell has the ball in his hands. The usage is there. He's definitely a point guard. 26th ranked. So this goes way up, 3.4 3-pointers made allowed per game. So really liking that. And that translates to the head-to-head here. So they've played each other twice this year. He crushed this line. He had 6 back in November. He had 3 recently, about a month ago. And then even dating back to the playoffs and everything like that last year, it's a team he shoots very, very well against, and I think he's going to have the open looks. So around 8 attempts still, but he had 11 attempts again back in November, 8 attempts back in February. He just has to shoot, 36, 40% like he typically does. So I'm really liking this Maxey play. The hit rate's not incredible, in general, but against this matchup, I think he'll get the opportunities. He just has to knock them down. And then jumping over to DG Fantasy to see if we're attacking good value here. And we do see that 3-point line, 3-point line we're going to, 2.5. It's a 52.3% chance to hit. Everyone is favoring the over here, minus 125. So definitely attacking some great value. Pinnacle, DraftKings, all these different sports books. Caesar's got this at minus 133. So definitely favoring the over here. And then last but not least, we want to look at our projection model on RotoWire. And they are also favoring this 2.5 3-point line very, very slightly, but they're expecting 2.79. So everything, again, pointing in the right direction. The hit rate's not amazing, but the hit rate specifically to that Nets team is looking really good. So that's going to round out our top 4. For anyone just skipping to the end, or if you're trying to cram this in, this is for you. Brandon Ingram is a taco. You should be playing all the tacos. There should be 3 today. He just happens to be the first one. But then we got Jonas Valanciunas, 1.5 blocks and steals on the under. I think they're going to favor the Larry Nance matchup here, and Valanciunas might not see a bunch of time. Herb Jones, 12.5 points and assists on the over. Burned us last time, but going right back to him again. Easier matchup here against Toronto. And if they go small ball, he should be getting a ton of minutes. Jaylen Brown at 30.5 PRA, going to be going on the over here. Cleveland team he plays very well against, even though they're very tough defensively. And then Tyrese Maxiell over 2.5 3-pointers made. We just talked about this. Brooklyn gives up a whole bunch of threes, and Maxiell just got to knock them down. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. Again, last chance to get into the $250 giveaway that will be happening in tomorrow's video. Again, how to enter, just got to use any of my partners' codes that are all in the description of this video, or the links is almost even easier. But they're also all right here. PrizePicks, Underdog, Chalkboard, Sleeper, Dabble. You're going to get the perks of signing up, 100% deposit matches. Usually they have a newbie square. But you also just get to take advantage of the promotions that they have each week. So they have advantages in signing up for them in general, but also you get into the Rich Club for free for a month. So if you use PrizePicks code, DM me, say, hey, use your PrizePicks code. You'll get an entry into the giveaway. You'll get a free month, and you'll get all the advantages of signing up using my code anyway. So highly recommend doing that. You can get multiple entries by signing up for multiple codes. Again, just DM me, say, hey, I use your code. Here's the screenshot, and I'll get you right in. But again, it also gives you access to the Rich Club. Highly recommend checking us out. There's about 300 people in the Rich Club, about 1,800 people in the Discord as a general. There is a free part of the Discord, but we're just people trying to put our brains together, beat these books together, and we've had a whole lot of success. We talk NBA, but we also talk esports, soccer, NHL, NFL when it's going on. MLB is right around the corner. So we talk all different types of sports. And again, we're just regular people talking, and it's a fun community. So get into that giveaway, $250. I'll go to the post your wins section to kind of show off, how we've been doing. People are always winning again. Esports, you see Chalkboard plays, you see DraftKings. People are doing all different types of things. And yeah, we have a whole bunch of fun. So get into the giveaway, get into the Discord. Also, check out my Instagram page. Just started this a few days ago, and I've been posting reels. They take a long time to make, so I'd really appreciate a follow. But we've also been killing it with these free picks over here. There are different free picks as well. They're different from the YouTube channel. So go check out the Instagram page. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Like the video, comment anything down below, subscribe if you are new, and giveaway announcement tomorrow for the winner.